As our reporter was there to cover all the details at the press conference.
We've been to fund capital expenditure and maintenance expenditure and even SNIT contributions of the workers. In fact, a group of the hotels cannot even afford their auditors' fees.
Tonight we'll bring you education as 3 teachers and 2 invigilators arrested over examination malpractice allegations as GHOne and Bekwai as 2024 basic education certificate examination kicks off across the country. Also, coming up tonight in politics, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama says the appointees under his watch will not be allowed to engage in illegal mining, as he insists on granting amnesty to jailed miners. And then more in politics, 5 persons pick forms to contest in the Menchia South constituency to replace Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, who has been chosen as running mate to NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia.
If you are a youth, that we term youth from 18 to 40, you have to pay 17,500. If you are disabled, you have to pay 17,500. Apart from that, there is nothing again.
And tonight in business, residents in Antieku in the Central municipality cut off from other parts of Accra as their only bridge collapses, affecting livelihoods in the community. Tonight we'll be there to tell you about the plight of people living in Antieku. We have these and many other interesting stories making the 1 hour bulletin. Stay with us as we join you with all these details and many more. My name is Kweku. Let's take the details of the stories we have for you tonight. And here, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust says the decision to sell off 60% of its shares in 6 hotels has been suspended pending further engagements. Well, according to SNIT, the 6 hotels have not been sold, contrary to reports making rounds in the media. Addressing the media on Monday, Director General of SNIT, Kofi Asafo Mafu, maintained that the hotels have not been profitable. Well, according to him, the only hotel out of the 6 that has paid dividends to government in the last 14 years is the Labadi Beach Hotel. Well, Member of Parliament for North Tongue Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa and some civil society organizations have raised red flags about the intended sale of the hotels to Rock City Hotel, which is owned by Agricultural Minister, that's Brian Champon. But the Director General insists the sale must go on to make the hotels more profitable.
Maintenance funding, there require capital injections, the high capital expenditure needed, and all of that for us calls for the need for a strategic investor. And we've been through quite a lengthy process to do so. Bear in mind, we've also tried having external management companies running SNIT, running the hotels, the SNIT hotels, beg your pardon. And that hasn't resolved the problem either. So for us, we look at it twofold, looking to resolve a problem and do so with the introduction of a strategic investor. And we've outlined the reasons there. Consistent losses by almost all of our hotels. I know you are aware that Labadi does make a profit, but the returns are below par. They haven't paid us any dividends, with the exception of Labadi. Labadi Beach Resort only started paying dividends for the last 2 years. They haven't from inception. We've been called in to fund capital expenditure and maintenance expenditure and even SNIT contributions of the workers. In fact, a group of the hotels cannot even afford their auditors' fees. Accounts since 2018 haven't been audited. And if you put all of that together, what we have to do is to take action. And that's what we are seeking to do. So those are the hotels. Can we have the next slide?
All right, so definitely you'd want to stay on this particular story some more, and that's just what we are going to do. We were actually at the press conference. My colleague Calvin Powell is our reporter who covered the press conference for us. He joins me right here in the studio for more details. Well, Calvin, thank you very much. Let me find out from you. So what more can you report on? We know, yes, it's on hold now, but what more did the DG talk about?
All right, so if you recall, Mr. Fedible made some assertion that his son also presented some proposal but was refused. There was a response to that effect, and if you indulge me, this is what the DG actually said. He said Senate actually went through a process of evaluation, and per that people were shortlisted, and the evaluation took two steps. First, technical evaluation, and then financial evaluation. So they were unable to meet the technical evaluation. So per that, they couldn't even bother themselves to go ahead and evaluate their financial proposal.
And here you're talking about Freddie Blaze's
son. Yes.
Okay.
So this is the message he actually put across. He said, Sabatan Ivy Limited, Mr. Blaze's son's company, did not meet the technical evaluation qualifying mark of 50%. And so their financial proposal was returned to them unopened. So they came with a technical envelope and also a financial envelope. So you must pass through the first stage of technical assessment before they go to the financial aspect. Since they were unable to meet the target, they didn't even bother to check whether they were the financial. So they claim that 150 million to 200 million was proposed and was rejected. Senate is unable to substantiate that because they didn't open the envelope, first of all, to ascertain the veracity of that figure. Okay. These are some of the things that also he mentioned over there. But he came out with reasons why these hotels must be for sale, must go out to a strategy. He used the word strategic investor. So if you indulge, the first one, he says, well, raise the capital to invest in the hotels by partnering with a strategic investor with a proven track record in the hospitality business to manage the hotel. So this is a caveat. If you come and you want to manage this hotel, you must have a track record. That is your, first of all, you must have a knowledge about hotel business before you are permitted. So you can have the financial muscle, but if you don't have the know-how of how to manage hotel, you won't be given that priority. And the second one is manage investment risks to improve investment returns. So the risk involved in the hotel business, you should prove to say that you are capable of managing the risk and giving them a good return. Per that, they will qualify you for this sales. And the third one is implement our priority of restructuring non-performing companies within SNIT, an important policy, in an important point in the policy. So in the SNIT policy, there is a guideline that if you have any companies that are not performing, the management of SNIT must come together and diversify those companies for strategic investors. So this is one of the reasons why they are bent on selling off their stake, 60% of their shares. So the fourth one is improve SNIT's financial stability by reducing the annual capital injection from the pension fund and non-profitable hotels. So what has been happening is that SNIT has been dipping its hands into the contributors' funds. So what you are contributing and what I'm contributing, SNIT has been using that to inject into the hotels, but at the end of the day, no returns are being received from that. So per this, SNIT is saying that we can no more dip our hands into SNIT contributors' funds, and therefore we need to sell off these hotels and make some profit. And number 5 is funds from the sale will be reinvested to generate better returns to ensure long-term sustainability and prompt payment of pensions. If you recall, some persons complain of delay when it comes to their pension payment annually and also monthly. So they are saying that when they get the money from sale of this 60%, they will invest that and the return will be used for prompt payment.
It really looks like Smith is now going detailed to explain, to break it down to the public, something they didn't do early on.
Sure.
Now, one of the interest groups is Labour. And Labour is saying that, I don't know, have you reached out to them with all this information given?
Of course, we've got in touch with Labour and they made us know that, well, the presser, they are aware of it. All that the Senate is put across, they are very much aware, but they need to convey a message. They need to convey a meeting and take a decision and respond appropriately. So it is premature for them to just come out with any form of message right now to the public, because they are going to read between the lines of what Senate is saying and also whether that is the reality on the ground before they will give us some response in respect of this. So for now, they are tight-lipped on Senate's pronouncement for today.
All right, Calvin Powell, we're sincerely grateful. Just a short while there, I'm sure we're able to bring you back to give us more details on the Smith story. We're sincerely grateful. We'll quickly move on and talk about other stories. And here, flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says he will grant amnesty to illegal miners who have been jailed if given the chance to govern in the 2024 general elections. Well, according to the former president, who is seeking to return as leader of the country, says though the jailed miners should be accountable for their actions, district chief executives should take responsibility for the actions, as he accused them of benefiting from the illicit acts. Well, he disclosed that members of his government will not be allowed to engage in illegal mining activities. He was speaking at an engagement with journalists on Sunday night.
And so we're not going to countenance having any of our ministers or our political appointees involved in small-scale gold mining, so that we can enforce the laws properly. And what are the suggestions we've given? One, we know the districts where mining takes place. We will open an office of all the agencies that oversee the mining sector in those districts. There must be a Minerals Commission office in every district where gold mining is taking place, so that enforcement and compliance can be right at the doorsteps of the industry in the particular district. The Environmental Protection Agency, there must be an EPA office in every district where mining is taking place. And we have universities that are producing young graduates. UNER is one in Sunyani, UMAT is the other in Takwa. These young graduates are geologists, they are environmental protection specialists. They have a lot of experience when it comes to gold mining. And so we're saying that we're going to identify the concessions and who hold the concessions. And we're going to employ these young people to work with the companies that legitimately own the concessions, so that they can guide them in how to do proper mining. We're going to ban mining in forest reserves. As for that, is non-negotiable. The law that was amended to allow people to go into forest reserves, the law that was amended to let people enter forest reserves to do mining will be re-amended to stop it. Because the figures I'm getting are frightening. And that is why the climate change is real, because our dry seasons are getting harsher. We used to have 365 days rainfall in the western region. Today it is not so, because all the forest reserves have been invaded by mining companies. And it's insightful that in the past, somebody who was supposed to protect the forest, he himself eventually was known to own about 2 or 3 mining companies that had been given permission to go into forest reserves. I think that those trees, some of them 700 years old, some of them older than Ghana, older than our ancestors, are more important than the gold that lie underneath them. And the point is, if we cut all the trees, we will be leaving a barren land to our children and grandchildren. We don't want the forest zone to become the savannah zone.
All right, so we'll bring you more stories there very shortly, but that was former President Mahama. We'll go and have a conversation on the back of this, the project coordinator for Tropembos, and he joins us for more on this particular development. Well, thank you very much for your time tonight. Let me find out from you. So what do you make of the decision to grant amnesty to persons arrested and jailed by engaging in illegal mining?
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I personally think that it is rather an unfortunate comment to make. First of all, because the whole of Ghana, we are clamoring for effective enforcement of our mining laws and expecting that any government in power takes bold steps to ensure that people that go against our mining laws, especially destroying the forests and environment, are brought to book. And so why would any government or anyone aspiring to be in government have in mind and thought to really free people that have been taken through the legal processes, the judicial processes, and then being punished, and then to free them? I think that shouldn't happen. And if it is the intent of any person seeking to be in government, then I think that it is not right for the person to even want to be in government, to cause people to feel free to continue the very evil that the whole country is seeking that should be stopped. So that is my view on that.
Nana Boachi, the NDC flag bearer actually mentions that he says his appointees, such as DCEs and ministers, should rather take the fall. Do you agree? So maybe not these ordinary boys who are in the pits. They are just going to look for daily bread. They are not the ones actually who are the campaigns in this whole game.
Very good. You see, the framers of our law knew that people could lead actions that are criminal and evil. And that is why we have the issue of people working in connivance or people aiding and abetting. And we see anyone that aids and abets in crime to be also a criminal. And so if people are sponsoring, people are financing illegal mining, and we think that the people on the ground should be freed, and only the people that are financing or even appointees of governments that are supposed to supervise these areas should be held accountable, I think it is unfortunate. Because in legal terms, you cannot even take a minister of state to court that somebody is doing mining, and that if he knows something about it, the fact that the supervision lies within his or her doorsteps means that the person should be prosecuted or anything. It is something that cannot be done. The person can be sanctioned or can be removed from power or from the position. But if we are talking about meting out punishment, taking people through the legal process, the judicial process to punish them, then it is the perpetrators. For me, I will be glad if such a government knows the people that are financing and can get hold of them and also punish them, take them, prosecute them, and let them be punished. That will be very good. But in the absence of that, or whilst we have not really found them, then the people that we can get hold of should be punished to be served as deterrent for others not even heeding to the financiers' work. And so if we punish them, other people who would also desire to go and work for these campaigns and the financiers wouldn't do it, because they will know that they will also be punished and they will be incarcerated as others have been. And so I think that this is a holistic thing that we should do, and not to say that it is some financiers and some campaigns and all that, and that the people on the ground should be left off the hook. That shouldn't happen. If we leave them off the hook, we should also know that there are people that are even in the communities and doing things on their own. It's not all of them that are being financed by some big men somewhere. And so we should tackle all of them. If an appointee is not doing his work well and not monitoring things well, he should be dealt with at the governance level. If there are people that are financing and our investigation gets hold of them, they should also be prosecuted rightly, as the people doing the work on the ground are also being prosecuted. But for us to say, of anyone wanting to be in government to say that he will let them off the hook because they are not campaigns, they are not financiers, it is an unfortunate comment to make.
All right, Nana Boakye, well explained there. We're grateful for your time tonight. Nana Boakye joined us from Tropendos. He's the project coordinator. Well, all is set for us to bring you Insight tonight, and our focus is on the BEC. Remember, Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. Well, in Inside tonight, the West African Examination Council and the National Intelligence Bureau have arrested 3 teachers in Bekwai and 2 invigilators at Jenini in the Jama North District. Well, a total of 569,095 candidates are currently writing this year's Basic Education Certificate Examination, that's a BEC, at some 2,123 designated centers across the country. Well, the exam over the years has been characterized by incidents of malpractices, amongst others, raising concerns of the integrity of the exams. Well, day 1 of the exam, despite smooth process, saw the arrest of 3 teachers and 2 invigilators, with the Ghana Education Service cautioning teachers, school heads, and all candidates to desist from all forms of examination malpractices. We'll have a lesson to supervisors at some exam centers, speaking to my colleague Obed King Gaglo earlier.
Center is Christ the King Examination Center, and we have 344 candidates comprising 154 boys and 190 girls. Papers were brought on time. So we started at exactly 9, and unfortunately we lost 1 candidate from Association International School, so the number reduced to 343.
Okay.
At the morning, we had an assembly with them and we briefed them on the purpose of the attack here. Yes, and so we put down the laid down rules to them, and I think so far so good. Nothing has happened.
The center started organizing itself right from 7:30 a.m. up to 8:30 a.m. when the learners were seated and then ready for the exams. They brought the papers around 9, and then we started around that time, and then we have just finished. We have only 2 absentees. The other one is unfortunate because he's a boy of Flagstaff House Basic School who passed on, and the other one just stopped coming to school, and that's why he didn't also show up. So we have 2 absentees out of 245 learners who are taking the BEC.
All right, so in the Ejumakwe Nyane CM district, where over 65,000 people are writing, the candidates were urged by the Director of Education to eschew acts of malpractices during the 5-day exercise.
Out of the figure, 32,750 are males, while 32,855 are females from 2,415 public and private junior high schools. In the Ejumaku Enyam Esian district, a total of 2,918 candidates are writing, out of which 1,482 are males, while 1,436 are females, writing in 9 centers. Director of Education for Ejumaku Enyam Esiam District, Sabina Abba Wilson, who taught the various centers, advised candidates to take the exams easy. She urged them not to engage in examination malpractices.
Nation, we have 2,918 candidates who are writing the said examination. We have 1,482 being males and 1,436 being females. And so far, I've seen only one person who is absent. The rest are all writing the paper this morning. We have 9 centers.
On his part, the district chief executive for the Ejumako Enyan Esiam, Ransford Emmanuel Kwesi Nyakun, encouraged the candidates to come out with flying colors. According to him, that is the only way they can enjoy the free SHS policy by the government.
I'm sure our students in Ejumako Enyan Esiam will live up to expectation. We've gone around this morning, we've given them the assurances that we believe in them. And we're also reminding them about the opportunity that His Excellency Nana Kweku has given them. This is the door, this is the gateway into the free SHS policy. This is also not just a gateway into the free SHS policy, but a gateway into their career. Someone to be nurses, someone to be teachers. Once you're able to pass this very well, you have the opportunity to go to the senior high school, which by His Excellency's grace, by the policy of His Excellency, you don't need to struggle.
The basic education certificate examination is expected to end on Friday.
Well, definitely you would have our cameras all over the country. Let's now shift focus to the Volta region, where ranking member of Education Committee of Parliament Peter Norchu Koto urged candidates sitting for the ongoing basic education certificate examination and his constituency to shy away from examination malpractices.
Seize the opportunity this morning to meet the over 500 BEC candidates from the Akati North constituency to wish them success in the ongoing examination. I know the teachers have prepared them very well. They have also prepared themselves adequately for the examination. So I wish them well, and I hope that at the end of it all, they will come out successful.
Some 29,316 candidates are sitting for this year's BEC in the entire Volta region. This number includes 14,534 boys and 14,782 girls. Some of the candidates have been speaking to GHOne.
So actually I'm prepared because the thing is just to learn. So if you learn, you pass. So the thing I learned, when it comes, me too, I'll do it, and I hope I'll pass all the exams, and I think I will have grade 6.
Grade
6.
I'm prepared for the exams. Okay, so there is nothing to be afraid of, and I know I will do my best in it. Whatever question I see there and I know I can do it, I'll do my best. I know I will have the grade that I want to.
Meanwhile, the Home Municipal Director of Education, Dr. Esther Ajo Ajimayabua, has expressed optimism about the performance of candidates in the whole municipality. The whole municipality in the last 5 years has recorded a decline in the performance of candidates in the BEC, raising concerns among stakeholders.
There is a steady decline in the BEC performance, but the regressional analysis that we did over a period of 5 years. So we had a lot of engagement with the front lines on the best practices to do to curb this menace. So we decided first by having a professional development sessions for the teachers, because some of them are having a lot of challenges when it comes to the instructional delivery. Though we have interventions such as the professional learning community, which is an intervention by the UK8. And then we also have our homegrown one. So we had a lot of training for the teachers, and now we also strategize for the learners. That is, we train some teachers in what we codename grooming.
All right, so away from the Volta region, let me take you to the northern region, where Stephen Kweku Owusu, that's the Deputy Director General in charge of Management Services at the Ghana Education Service, expressed satisfaction with the confidence and discipline showed by the BEC candidates.
About 33,844 students in the northern region are part of the first batch of standard-based curriculum students writing the basic education certificate examination in the region. During our visit to the various centers within the Tamale metropolis and Sagni-Rugu municipalities, fewer students were absent on the first day of the exams. The Tamale metropolis presented a total of 6,2 267 students for the first standard-based curriculum exams. Despite the 30-minute delay in the start of the exams across the 113 centres in the northern region, the Deputy Director General in charge of Management Services at the Ghana Education Service, Stephen Kweku, expressed satisfaction with the level of confidence expressed by students and fewer absentees during his tour of the various centres in the Tamale metropolis and Sagnerugu. He further cautioned supervisors and invigilators against exam malpractice.
This particular examination is so special, especially in the sense that after the introduction of our curriculum, our competence-based, we call it the standard-based curriculum. This is the first time that we are picking a BECE. So the structure and the content of the question slightly will change because we are testing their ability to be creative and to critically think. So that is the essence of this examination. And after going around, we are confident that the students are poised for success. We are also encouraging the supervisors and the vigilators to be up to the task by supporting the students to eschew examination more practice. It has never been helpful anytime you write the exams and some papers are either withheld or cancelled. We don't want to register such cases. The other one that is so encouraging is that we are not registering many absentees. Only few areas that we visited, and we've seen that few of the candidates are unable to write the exam.
The Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Shani Shaibu, during his interactions, urged the candidates not to take for granted the opportunities given to them to excel in the BECE.
All right, so at this moment, the national coordinator for the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, I'm talking about Benes Imperi Jeke, has joined me now for more on the BECE. Thank you very much for joining me. So let me find out from you, what is your assessment of day one?
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity. The Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition has been monitoring the BECE across the regions. So in all, we have been able to make some assessments. Overall, the results has been very good. Logistics arrived on time. And then candidates were also okay, except the few cases we have recorded where some teachers have been arrested for examination malpractices. And then what we saw that was also exciting was that some pregnant ladies or students were allowed to write their exams, and we are so much excited about that. And also in the Eastern region, we had a situation whereby a student was allowed to bring the baby to the examination center to write the exams. So we want to commend GHOne for implementing the re-entry policy, which is helping to bridge the gender gap in education. So apart from some few cases of absenteeism by some of the students, which the percentage is just about 1% of absenteeism, so far we are impressed about the smooth takeoff of the exams, and we are hoping that it will continue till the end.
Interesting analogy there. I'm sure you've been following the BECE very well. You mentioned early on, and it's quite disturbing for all of us who are following the BECE closely. So 3 teachers, 2 invigilators arrested in there. I would want to find out from you, what do you think should be done going forward? These teachers who are found assisting, who are found creating an atmosphere that could even lead to the cancellation of the students' papers. What should be done?
All right, thank you very much. This came as a surprise to us because we were thinking that the teachers that were involved were supposed to serve as role model to these learners, and unfortunately they are aiding them to conducting examination malpractices. This is very, very unfortunate, but for the teachers, we are calling for very strict and harsh punishment for these teachers. One, we are suggesting that if GHOne can actually revoke their license as teachers, their names and pictures should be published all over the media, and then the laws in the country that is related to examination malpractices should be applied to them, so that it will serve as a deterrent to others. For the students, what we really don't want is cancellation of their papers, meaning that their future is a bit shaky when they are not able to write these exams. But I think that is one of the punishments that is meted out to students who engage in examination malpractices. So we will have further engagement to see what can be done for the students who engage in examination malpractices. But for the teachers, it's very, very unfortunate, and we are looking out for very harsh punishment to deter others from doing same.
Benison Perry, thank you very much for your time, and I know this is not going to be the last time we will be getting in touch with you, as our reporters are dotted around the country. We should be that official station that will bring you all the details on the BECE examination that is being written throughout the country. That will close for Insight for tonight, but we're not done with the bulletin. Just a gentle reminder that Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. If you're just joining us, this is News Tonight, and my name is Kweku Temeng. Well, some more stories for you, and we're looking at politics as 5 members of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region have picked up nomination forms to contest for the party's parliamentary primary scheduled for Sunday, 14th July 2024 in Kumasi. Well, this follows the appointment of Mesia South Constituency Member of Parliament, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, as a running mate to Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia, in line with the party's constitution. While Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako has more in the following report.
Nominations will close on Tuesday, July 9, paving way for vetting to be conducted on Wednesday, 10th July. Voting for a new parliamentary candidate to replace Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh will take place on Sunday, 14th July 2024. Smith Butty is the Mesia South Constituency Chairman.
Come to the constituency and re-elect somebody who will be our parliamentary candidate in Mesia South. That is why we are here. On that note, I declare the nomination open. So if a woman have to pay 17,500, if with banker's draft, okay. If you are a youth, that we term youth from 18 to 40, you have to pay 17,500. If you are disabled, you have to pay 17,500. Apart from that, there is nothing again. From today that I've opened this nomination, tomorrow we are going to close the nomination. We do the vetting on Wednesday, and then on Sunday we do the elections.
At the time of filing this report, 5 persons had picked nomination forms to contest the primaries.
In other stories tonight, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, has commended the Election Security Task Force led by the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu Dampare, for his leadership so far. While speaking during a briefing meeting between the Electoral Commission and Election Security Task Force, the Electoral Commission outlined various activities on the electoral calendar, including a mop-up registration exercise for the 1st to 3rd August, and assured Ghanaians of a peaceful and credible elections come December.
Past, like the IGP said, where we saw very many, incidents, we witnessed incidents of violence and conflict. It was minimized in this, and we just saw 1 or 2 pockets, but I think they were quickly dealt with by the security agencies and nipped in the bud. So all in all, we witnessed a very successful program. I believe there are many lessons that we've learned, and but these are things that we will take stock of. We'd like to mention also that we enjoy the police presence in all our registration centers across the country, not only in our offices, but also when our mobile teams were moving along the length and breadth of this country. They were able to do so freely and with liberty because of the security protection that we enjoy. So all in all, it's been a very good exercise. We are poised, even in the lead up to the exhibition exercise and the mop-up registration exercise. I'd like to place on record that
all is set for me to bring you the latest happenings from our world of business. Appreciation to Bill's Microcredit for making us bring you business tonight. Well, you're looking for any loans, you should be looking at Bill's Microcredits. Now to the business news. Residents of Antieku in the Central Municipal Districts of Greater Accra are stranded following the collapse of the only bridge linking the communities. Well, the collapsed bridge on the Kokompe Garages Road has restricted the movement of people in and out of the communities, making livelihood very difficult. Benjamin Saki has more in the following report.
Poor roads, coupled with a collapsed bridge, heightens the worries of residents of Kweku in the Central Municipal District of Greater Accra. 4 communities, Kweku Kukumpe Park area, in Sufa, Nick, and Full Gospel Awoyu, were left stranded following the collapse of the only bridge linking the communities. Bridges constructed over huge drains within the municipality have been ruined by flood waters, further deteriorating already damaged roads. Commuting in the area has become a difficult task. Partners in the communities worry about their wards education, which seem to grind to a halt as the major communication line lies broken.
The construction of the bridge was not properly done, and this bridge started breaking not today, it's been a while. And several times you see officials from the municipal office come here, pay a visit and go, and absolutely nothing is done. I run a water business just down there. So you realize that every single day I have my aboboya running from here to supply water to this part. This bridge, since it's broke, has caused a lot of inconvenience to us.
We've had this issue here for a couple of years now, and then we've been managing. But just this last rainfall has really damaged the bridge completely. And then also because of the damage, we can't travel to the other side of the road, and we have our houses and our work and everything there. And then also our kids, they are kids, they can just fall into this thing anytime. And so I'm pleading that the government will come and then come and repair it for us as soon as possible.
Kweku school, the omo kone the omo benyi no omo ntimi nko school ni ye nti ye pesa aban no ombe hwe gata no no wanyama ye e na efi so ku ya wa ha no pa we so ye sole ye no ya be siesie ha nti kanya obi hwe ha ma se ne be ya efi na ye wa ha no no ye betimi yiye efri ha se ne be ya yare bie ni ho ababeto ye mu ni nkora ne nyina wa ha anka ye ni baji hu panti ye hia mo.
Assembly member for Kweku electoral area, Benjamin Kwame Sewodo, appeals to government to expedite action on the collapsed bridge.
When it rains at dawn, when we wake up, we realize the major bridge that we have that have been helping the community has gone down. That means it has been demolished by the rain. So it is one of the biggest blow ever to this community. Basically, this is the bridge that serves great purpose for the community. We have people living in the community that apply their vehicles on this particular bridge. As it is broken, it's a very, very huge blow for the community.
Well, let's bring you some more stories as the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso North, Yusuf Isaka Jaja, has strongly disputed claims made by the Ayawaso East Assembly, suggesting that the Minister of Local Government has unilaterally amended the LI 1615 to favor Ayawaso North. Well, MP Jaja clarified that the decision to include the Decathlon area within the Ayawaso North Assembly's jurisdiction is based on a comprehensive report by the Nationwide Boundary Dispute Resolution Committee.
There has been a long-standing territorial dispute between two of the 4 Ayawaso municipalities, Ayawaso East and Ayawaso North, over where the sportswear giant Decathlon is located. The two assemblies have clashed over jurisdictional rights to this area. Both assemblies were originally part of the larger Accra Metropolitan Assembly until 2017, when a new legislative instrument, LI 1615, established them as separate entities. According to Ayawaso East, LI 1615 delineates the Kanda Highway as the boundary between the two. They find it perplexing that the local government and rural development minister, Martin Ejay Kosa, assigned the disputed land to Ayawaso North. However, according to the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso North, Yusuf Isaka Jaja, the decision was based on scientific and historical evidence.
They used not to be the Kanda Highway. The Kalkudi Road that we see leads to a school where the Decathlon building is now, called Juroskebi, which used to be a police station under Mamobi East, then under Ayawaso East. So once Mamobi East falls within now Ayawaso North, automatically that area needs to be part of Mamobi East and Ayawaso North.
All right, so that's about all we have for you in business tonight. We really appreciate Bill's Microcredit for making it possible for us to bring you business. You need any small loans, you should turn to Bill's. Well, call him the sports giant, and he's here with all the smiles. Benghazi, good evening. What's up in sports?
Well, good evening to you, Kweku. And in sports, our gallant Black Queens are currently in Tokyo ahead of their friendly international with Japan. I've got news also from Wimbledon, which is ongoing. There's a shock on the cards. I'll get you the details of that and many more others after this short break. Queens have arrived in Tokyo ahead of the international friendly game with Japan on July 13. The team left Accra on Sunday afternoon and arrived in the Japanese capital on Monday evening. The team held 4 training sessions in Accra before leaving for Tokyo with the hope of demonstrating some progress to the handlers of the national team, who are, of course, unfortunately, not going to be at the Olympic Games because they lost out to Zambia in the qualifiers for the Olympic Games to be held in some few days' time in Paris for this year's Olympic Games. To some sad news in Africa, where Moroccan club Etihad Tanga has revealed that their search continues for 2 footballers who went missing off the country's North Mediterranean coast on Saturday. Now, 5-star members from the top flight side were taking part in an excursion on a yacht rented from the beach resort of Ndik Tatouan. Emergency services rescued 3 people after the incident, but senior players Abdul Latif Akrif, Salman El Harak are missing. Now, Osama Afla, Sumana Dadu, and Abdulahid Mali, a Moroccan U20 international, were rescued after being out at sea for several hours. Afla is a club employee, while Dadu and Mali are considered promising young players with a reserve team of Etihad Tanza. Now, the president of the club, Mohamed Shokui, confirmed a search for the missing players is still ongoing. He also asked members of the media and fans on social media to continue to be careful with information they share about these pair who are still missing, and the search continues for them at sea. And that's it for sports.
Matt Benghazi, definitely he will be here tomorrow to bring you some more updates. Well, for now, we're bringing you some entertainment on GHOne. On entertainment tonight, Ghanaian film director and producer Shirley Frimpong Manso is urging movie directors to prioritize channeling their movies to promote unity among citizens. Well, according to the filmmaker, the only means to unify Ghanaians without political identification is through entertainment. Well, she made this known at the press event preceding the launch of the next movie that's Two of a Kind.
As Ghana prepares to go to the polls in December, entertainment has been seen as one of the quick escape from the hard political thought. With this in mind, celebrated film director and producer for Sparrow's Productions, Shirley Frimpong Manso, has admonished filmmakers to use their crafts as a conduit for peace in the upcoming elections.
We could sell a lot more of Ghana through our movies. I think that nobody's saying that politics should be on the back burner, but I think when it comes to the sensationalism that comes with it, the fighting and whatever and stuff, that could cool off, and entertainment and movies and music and things could be at the forefront, which is more of a unifying factor than the politics that divides us. So I thought that what better way to place this movie at a time when obviously we would have gone to cast votes, and people will be perhaps at our most dividing point at the time.
As part of the ensemble cast in Sparrow's upcoming Two of a Kind, Nigerian actress Rita Dominic shares how her involvement as a sole Ghanaian in the production will affect both the Nigerian and Ghanaian movie industries.
I always feel like there's so many talented young Africans out there, and they just need a platform to show what it is that they have. So I'm really happy that Shelley's doing this, discovering new talents, letting the world know that Africa is full of talents. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't give them a platform, then you won't know. So I'm happy this is happening, and I'm happy to be a part of this.
Some other cast members shared excitement to be on the project.
I feel great. It's an amazing opportunity to showcase myself, showcase what I do, and it's an even greater opportunity to work with Shelley once again. She's an amazing director, and I love every bit of working with her. And then again, working with Rita Dominic, somebody we watched while growing up. Now I have an opportunity to share the screen with her. I'm so excited and I love it.
It's still such a dream because I have always wanted to work with her. I started off in music, but acting has always been my first love, and I've always been looking forward to meeting her. I got my very first film I did in 2018 with Ramesh. She was invited to the press, and I couldn't even go and talk to her because I was so starstruck. So 2 years later, she calls me for my very first film with her, and ever since then, it's just been a dream.
Two of a Kind.
All right, so that's about all we have for you tonight, but that would not end the great programs on this channel, GHOne TV. My name is Kweku, and it's such a delight joining you this evening. Bulletin led by Musa Lansa. On behalf of the entire production team tonight, I would want to salute you and say, keep your channel right here, but ensure you bring your family together and brush with Pepsodent. A very good evening to you.